All right, guys, let's talk about this mall inferno thing while people were actually. I hate these pop ups. What is up with these pop ups?
You need to upgrade your Android cleaner now or your mobile slow
You
down
know
and
this is the
consume the battery
devil.
faster.
Um, so basically, you got all these people in Russia that were at the hospital. I mean, that were at the mall. Grown-ups, parents left their children in a movie theater by themselves. I think that each and every one of them should go to jail. Let somebody in America leave their children in the movie theater. They ass is going to have DCF, the police, the FBI, the CIA, everybody up their ass just to lock you up because you left your kids alone in the mall, in the movie theater. Who does that? Okay. Second, who locks up the movie theater in the mall where people cannot exit out? This is just another false flag going on. So also in the world news, we also have the U.S. government just destroyed our privacy while nobody was paying attention. And this article by Tyler Durden, okay, authored by Carrie Welder, VIA, antimedia.com, while the nation remained fixed on gun control and Facebook's violative practices last week, the U.S. government quietly codified the Cloud Act, its own intrusive policies on citizens' data. While the massive 1.2 trillion omnibus spending bill passed Friday received widespread media attention, the Cloud Act, which lawmakers snuck into the end of the 2,300-page bill, was hardly addressed. The clarifying law for oversees the use of data, cloud, updates the rules for criminal investigators who want to see emails, documents, and other communications stored on the internet. CNET reported now law enforcement won't be blocked from accessing someone's Outlook account. For example, just because Microsoft happens to store users' email on servers in Ireland. The Cloud Act will also allow the U.S. to enter agreements that allow the transfer of private data from domestic servers to investigators in other countries on a case-by-case basis, and further globalizing the ever-encroaching surveillance state. The Electronic Frontier Foundation, which has strongly opposed the legislation, listed several consequences of the bill, which is called far-reaching and privacy impending. Okay, and it says enable foreign police to collect and wiretap people communication from the U.S. companies without obtaining a U.S. warrant, and allow foreign nations to demand personal data stored in the United States without prior or review by a judge. So they could be storing your information in Ireland, which is not a part of the USA, but because Microsoft stores your information in Ireland, the police can just go access Ireland. So your emails or nothing that you do are safe anymore. And it says allow the U.S. president to enter executive agreements that empower police in foreign nations that have a weaker privacy laws than the United States to seize data in the United States while ignoring U.S. privacy laws. Allow foreign police to collect someone's data without notifying them about it. Empower U.S. police to grab any data regardless of its U.S. persons or not, no matter where it's stored. The bill is an update to the current MALAT Mutual Legal Assistance Treaty, the current framework for sharing internet user data between countries, which both legislators and tech companies have criticized as inefficient. Some tech companies like Microsoft have endorsed the new cloud policy, but Brad Smith, the company's president and chief legal officer, I'm on the phone, called it a strong and good compromise that gives tech companies like Microsoft the ability to stand up for the privacy of our customers around the world. It gives tech company like Microsoft the ability to stand up for the privacy rights of our customers around the world. They echo the sentiment of the lawmakers of the Orrin Hatchet. In February, he said of the bill, the Cloud Act bridges the divide that sometimes exists between the law enforcement and the tech sector by giving law enforcement but the tools it needs to access the data throughout the world, while at the same time creating a common sense framework to encourage international cooperation to resolve conflicts. But one of the biggest complaints from privacy advocates, however, that the new legislation places too much unmitigated power in the hands of governments with abysmal human rights records, while also giving too much discretion to the U.S. government's executive branch. Nothing that the executive branch will decide which countries are human rights compliant, and those countries then will be able to engage in data collection and wiretaps without any further restrictions or oversight. You guys, everything about whatever was signed is very, 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 very much shall alarm you, especially when even the president signed a bill that he didn't even read. Everybody signed it. They didn't read it. They know what's in it, but they didn't read it. And yet, now you have no privacy because they can go to out of the country just so they can get your records.